Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So we are studying the 14th chapter, and I believe we were on verse number 16. Is that so? Do you remember? I think so. Let's start with 16. Yes. Number 16. Karmaṇaḥ sukṛitasyāhuḥ Karmaṇaḥ sukṛitasyāhuḥ Sāttvikaṁ nirmalaṁ phalam Sāttvikaṁ nirmalaṁ phalam Rajasastu phalam duḥkham Rajasastu phalam duḥkham Ajñānaṁ tamasaḥ phalam Ajñānaṁ tamasaḥ phalam. The result of virtuous actions is said to be sattvika and pure. The result of rajas is pain, while ignorance is the result of tamas. So we are studying the three constituents of prakriti, of nature, sattva, rajas and tamas. And there are sattvika actions. For example, actions which are done for the welfare of others, actions which are done as karma yoga, or a puja or a ritual which is done as a worship of God without any particular strong individual desire. As a regular spiritual discipline, for example, all of these are sattvika actions, and they all serve to purify the mind, give a kind of pure happiness, increase knowledge. So that's what is meant by these actions produce a sattvika bhava in the mind. And then there are actions which are born of desire and thirst and passion and greed and anger, and they follow and they give result to sorrow. So he says, rajasas tu phalam duḥkham, pain, conflict, sorrow. Ajñānaṁ tamasaḥ phalam. And the result of tamasic actions, which is basically no action or laziness or ignorance, it increases tamas, ignorance. Number 17. The same theme is being continued. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam, sattvat sanjayate jnanam, rajaso lobha eva cha, rajaso lobha eva cha, pramadamohau tamaso, pramadamohau tamaso, bhavato ajñānameva cha, bhavato ajñānameva cha. From sattva results knowledge, from rajas only greed, and from tamas nothing but inadvertence, delusion and ignorance. So more of the same idea. And what happens after death? 18. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvastha, urdhvam gacchanti sattvastha, madhye tishthanti rajasāh, madhye tishthanti rajasāh, jaghanya gunavrittistha, jaghanya gunavrittistha, adho gacchanti tamasāh, adho gacchanti tamasāh. Those who abide in sattva go upwards to the higher spheres. The rajasika dwell in the middle spheres, and the tamasika, dwelling in the functions of the lowest gunas, go downwards to lower spheres. Basically, the sattvic people go to heaven, and the rajasic people get to come back here, and the tamasic ones go to hell. Literally, that's what the commentator says here.
So maybe the limbo in the middle.
So those who are sattvika, it says, there are 7 heavenly worlds, higher and higher, not altitude wise, but more and more. There's more purity, more joy, more sublime worlds. but still material. They're all heavenly worlds are material. They're other kinds of, they're worlds basically, states of existence. And those who are rajasic, the commentator here says, Trishna Dyakula Madhye Tishtanti Manushya Loka Eva Utpadyante. Those who are troubled by desire and passion and restlessness, they keep coming back to this world. And Jaganya Ati Nikrishta Tamoguna, those who have cultivated or deeply tamasic states of ignorance, addiction, of harm, self-harm or harm to others. It says there are 7 lower worlds. So total 14 worlds. This world, by the way, is included and among the 7 higher worlds. So this is the lowest of the higher worlds. There are 6 heavens better than this. I mean, I keep looking up, but basically. And the 7 lower worlds are darker and darker worlds of suffering and misery. So it says, Nirayeshu Utpadyante. They are born in those worlds until their bad karmas are exhausted, and then they get a chance at this again. So anyway, basic idea being that these 3 gunas, they determine what happens to us, the kind of experience we have living in this world, and the kind of experience we will have after death also. So it depends on the predominance of the gunas. Basically, it's a mixture of all 3 for everybody, but some have a predominance of one or the other. Now, the point of all of these discussions, it's coming in the 19th verse. That's the most important verse of the whole chapter. What's the point of all of these? Remember, all of these 3 gunas are bondage. And the freedom from this bondage, moksha, spiritual freedom, liberation, that's the goal of Vedanta. So, these descriptions of the 3 gunas, they are a wonderful description of human nature basically. And again, I repeat, they're meant for self-analysis, not for looking at others and pointing out, see, there's a very tamasic person. That person is sort of between tamas and rajas. No, it's about me. Look at my own life. This gives a good way of taking stock of my own life. And so that's one. But what's the purpose of describing it? The ultimate purpose in all of this is, whatever our state of life, all of this is still bondage. If a person is sattvic or rajasic or tamasic, whatever guna predominates, it's still within samsara. So each state has its own particular bondages, which we saw earlier also. The rajasic person is restless and ambitious and greedy, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in not so good way, conflict-ridden. The tamasic person is given to inadvertence and laziness and inaction, dullness, negative states of mind and being. The sattvic person is more luminous, chases knowledge, but also bound to, say, a pleasant life, the good life, a nice life. So, yes, the brunch life, very, very Manhattan.
So sattvic.
The Met and then brunch, catch brunch afterwards, and the walk in the park. It's a sattvic life. And yes, you appreciate the higher things in life, the opera and the art and do some little bit of good in this world, but no particular higher spiritual endeavor is there. So the Gita we read earlier, Sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanaga. It binds to pleasant experiences and the pursuit of knowledge. This person loves libraries. The rajasic person would rather build an annex to the library rather than reread the books. And the tamasic person would love the library to go to sleep. It's a nice place to sleep. So everybody loves the library for different reasons. Yeah. I remember in the monastery once I was made the librarian because I loved books. And I was a very poor librarian because I kept on reading the books. A librarian shouldn't read the books too much. Should be, up and doing about the library. So these are 3 kinds of personalities. All have their own bondages. They're all tied down to samsara. And the problem is, in samsara, these people are chasing certain kind of setup. The sattvika person, you will see they build a life accordingly. A pleasant life, a refined life. They surround themselves with people who are congenial to them. So they will look out for congenial friends, acquaintances, avoid a certain kind of person. And then if you look at their lives, if they have the good karma of designing their own lives, you'll see generally a particular kind of sattvic life, a pleasant, refined life. A rajasic person will be busy. You can see the characteristic is being busy, active, up and doing, dynamic, energetic, friction, conflict, a lot of yelling and shouting and lists of enemies and to-do lists, things to be done, and gets stuff done also in life. They say that if you really want your work to be done, give it to somebody who has no time at all. It's only the rajasic person who has no time at all, and they will get your work done. But at a cost to themselves and to others. And then burnout, rajasic person will burn out. The tamasic person has already admitted defeat. So, and the tamasic person will also, if you take a look at the daily routine of a tamasic person and the acquaintances and what they feel like doing, the couch potato. So that's a tamasic. So each of them designs a samsara, and all are tied in samsara. Now, freedom from samsara is not possible in this. In the gunas. It means, in these terms, freedom from the gunas. But how? What does it mean? How can you be free of the gunas? Remember, sattva, rajas, tamas, they are the constituents of maya. And so everything in this universe is a product of maya. This body is a product of maya, of sattva, rajas and tamas. Our minds are constituted of sattva, rajas and tamas. So how would you get free of all of this? Number 19, it talks about freedom from the gunas. Remember, even the good ones, one needs freedom. Remember Sri Ramakrishna's parable of the three robbers? So the three robbers, one of them wanted to kill the poor man who fell victim to them. The second one wanted to tie that man and leave him in the forest. And the third one took pity on that man and freed him from that thing. But so the first robber was the one who wanted to kill was tamas. Tamas destroys us. It slowly leads to a disintegration of whatever has been achieved till now also is lost. Rajas builds up slowly but also acquires lots of bad karma. And sattva is the more purifying, the luminous side. So the third robber was the sattva, which freed him. But remember what happened. The man, when he was freed, he wanted the third robber to come with him. Come home with me. You were kind to me. And he says, I can't go to the city. I am a robber. So the city of God, the three gunas cannot approach it. I'll show you the way, but I can't accompany you there. That's the very beautiful parable of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda puts it in another way. He says, chains though of gold are not less strong to bind. So chains of gold, a sattvika life, a good person. But still, not less strong to bind. Chains though of gold are not less strong to bind. Just like the iron chains of rajas or tamas, but the gold chains are also, they will bind us fast. What's the problem if I have got a sattvic life? The problem is everything is temporary. Even the sattvika life might be a very nice life. It will be temporary. One day sickness will come, or poverty will come, or stresses and strains will come. One day the sattva, and most important, these gunas keep changing. One day the sattva will decline and maybe rajas will come in its place, or tamas. More likely sattva generally declines, falls into tamas. So these things happen. We must get freedom from this. Chains, though of gold, are not less strong to bind. And Vivekananda says, what's the solution? Then off with them. Both. Off with the golden ones and the iron ones. That is number 19. Very important. The key verse of this chapter. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati madbhavam sodhigacchati. When the seer beholds no active agent other than the gunas and knows that which is beyond the gunas, he attains my being. The commentator here says, Tadevam prakriti guna sangakritam samsaram saprapancha muktva. Having delineated the samsara created by prakriti, by the gunas of prakriti. Now, idanim, now. Tad vivekato moksham darshayati. By viveka, by inquiry, freedom from this bondage is being shown now. This is an important teaching. Almost exactly the same thing Krishna has said twice earlier. It comes thrice in the Bhagavad Gita. Let me go back to chapter 3, verse 27. Chapter 3, verse 27. There the verse is, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. All actions are done by the gunas of Prakriti. Sounds familiar? Everything is done by the gunas of Prakriti. Deluded by ego, the self thinks, I am the doer. He whose mind is deluded through egoism thinks, I am the doer. So, Prakriti kriyamanani, nature does everything in this universe. Everything in the external world, in these bodies, in our minds, everything is done by nature. And by nature means the gunas of Prakriti, satva, rajasas and tamas. And deluded by ego, we'll talk about it, how the ego deludes us. Kartaham iti manyate, the self thinks, I am the doer. And by extension, not only the doer. If I am the doer of the deeds, I am the enjoyer or sufferer of the results. The one who does the karma gets the results. Karma, phalam. So I am the bhokta, the sufferer also. The enjoyer or sufferer of the results. Enjoyer of the results of good karma. What's the result of good karma? Sukha, happiness. What's the result of bad karma? Dukkha, pain. So I am the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of karma. I am karta, bhokta, pramata, the knower also. My seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, understanding, all of this is due to the gunas. I am the witness of all of these, but I become deluded into this person who is the doer, the sufferer, the knower, karta, bhokta, pramata in Sanskrit. Then again we see chapter 13, which we just did before chapter 14, verse 29. Verse 29, almost the same language. Prakrityeva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasha yapashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. So he who sees all actions are done by Prakriti. All actions are being done by Prakriti. One who understands that realizes that I am not the doer. The Atma, the real nature of the self is not the doer. Now you put these three verses together. The first one explains that everything is being done by nature, but there shows the mechanism of the bondage, the ego. We'll talk about that later. The second one shows that there is something beyond this bondage. There is a state of freedom, which is I am the witness consciousness, not the doer, not the sufferer. And here he says, how do you do that? The process is shown that you see that all is being done and experienced because of Prakriti and its gunas. And I am the witness thereof. And by doing that, one attains to, he says, madbhavam, the real nature of the self is attained, freedom is attained. So we will take a look at this. Just by the way, I was looking at some multiple commentaries this morning, preparing for this class. And there is a commentary not widely known or studied, but very wonderful, non-dualistic commentary called the Shankarananda Vyakhya. Shankarananda was a monk, not Shankaracharya. Shankarananda was a monk who lived about 700 years ago. And he wrote a very non-dualistic commentary of the Gita. Not as well known as this one, the Sridhar commentary, or of course not as well known as Shankaracharya's commentary and so on. Madhusudan Acharya's commentary, Madhusudan Saraswati's commentary. Now, there is no English translation of that commentary. At one place I thought it would be useful if I can have an English translation. Somebody told me that AI can help in translating Sanskrit too. So I asked AI, can you help me with this Sanskrit translation? And the AI said, yes, upload it to me. Take a picture of what you want me to translate. So I had the Sanskrit original, took a picture of it to translate and gave it to AI. AI immediately said, yeah, this is the 13th chapter, 29th verse. I didn't even tell it it's in the Gita. I just recognized 13th chapter and 29th verse. And this is Shankaracharya's famous commentary. Would you want me to translate this? I said, go ahead. And then it did it. It's all wrong. Hallucination. This is the 14th chapter, 19th verse. And it said, it's the 13th chapter, 29th verse, the earlier one. It's not far wrong. Because the same teaching is there. It immediately identified the teaching. So 13th chapter and the 29th verse. And it is not Shankaracharya's commentary which I gave. It was Shankarananda's commentary. And he said it's Shankaracharya's commentary. And then it invented a commentary of its own. I checked, was it translating Shankaracharya's commentary? I checked Shankaracharya's commentary. No. Was it translating the commentary I gave it? No. It was generating its own commentary and translating that. Then I scolded it and I said, this is not correct. Please stick to what I have given you. Don't make up stuff. And I didn't say don't make up stuff, but I was stern. Stick to what I have given you and translate that. Don't go outside that. And it was so obsequious, you are absolutely right. I am sorry I made this big mistake. He said, apologize, I made this big mistake. And then it goes on explaining why such a mistake is quite likely that a mistake is made. There are reasons why such a mistake can be made. It's like a very intelligent, people-pleasing kind of school student trying to please the teacher. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to do it all over again. Can I do it again? I said, okay, do it again. It was a little better. Then I said, it's a waste of time. Let me translate it on my own. So it was a very interesting experience. And one of the things it pointed out was that I'm not far off because it's the same teaching. You notice it's a verse in the earlier chapter which teaches the same thing. So that's why. And from the Shankarananda commentary, it thought it was Shankaracharya's commentary. Yes. So, yeah, strange.
It's not programmed yet.
It's not programmed. It's matching texts. It has huge amount of text at its disposal. It's like a very well-read idiot. Yeah. Yes, that's true. It has access to vast amounts of material, but what would be common sense for us eludes it until you scold it. Now, let us come to the verse number, the one which we were doing just now. And in Sanskrit commentary, this would be, the commentator at this point would say, Prakritam Anusarama. Let us come back to what is before us. The commentator took a detour, it would come back to what is before us. All right. Now, imagine there is the body, mind, the senses, they're all products of Prakriti. And how do I get free of this? I'm being told this is not my real nature. I am beyond Prakriti. I am not sattva, rajas and tamas. But the body, mind, and colored by sattva, rajas and tamas, I get attached to it. What's the nature of attachment has already been said. It could be, I feel good, I feel light, I feel pure and high. That's sattva. You are the witness of that, but you are not that. But I feel that. Or I feel energetic and restless, give me something to do. I've got these big projects to be done. Or I've got lots of stuff to be done, but I'll take a break first, a nap first. Let me take a nap right now. That's tamas. These are the states which we go through every day. And some people are a little more on one side or the other. We're all on the guna spectrum, let us put it that way. There's a guna spectrum. The psychiatrists have a handbook. It's called, I think, the DSM handbook.
I'm sure one day in decades or centuries ahead, you will have the whole guna format, or the paradigm will be put there. I'm sure it will come out. Some kind of paradigm will be developed. Some format will be developed. Anyway, we are on the spectrum there. But Vedanta insists we are not. That's the big secret. So far, what was described is an extraordinary description of human nature. And a psychologist or psychiatrist would identify these types, give different names. Type A personalities or type B personalities, and so on. There are different ways of looking at this. Personality tests are there. But what Vedanta is telling us is different from all of that. Vedanta is saying you are none of them. It's a bit like our face. I am this face, I am reflected in a mirror. Now, I am being told, how do I extract that reflected face from the mirror? The thing is, it's impossible, you cannot. The reflected face is a part of the mirror. There is no way of making the ego free of the gunas of Prakriti. The ego itself is a product of Prakriti. It's constituted, it's made up of the three gunas. So how can I be free of the gunas? I cannot be. It can't be done. I'll either be sattvic or rajasic or tamasic. And being sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, I will engage in the kind of thoughts, speech and behavior. Kaya, mana, vakya. Kaya means in body, mana means thinking, vakya means speech, which reflects the sattva, rajasa, tamas predominant in my nature at that particular time. There is no way of pulling out of it. Then what can be done? I'll come to you. Yes. What can be done? Notice, in this mirror and the face reflected in the mirror, there is something else, the real face. I am here, I'm not in the mirror. The mirror is glass, so that's like the sattva, rajas, tamas. And the face reflected in the mirror, though it looks like my real face, it's nothing other than the mirror. And whatever happens to the mirror will happen to the reflected face. If it's a convex mirror, it will look peculiar. If it's a concave mirror, it will look this way. If it's mirror is scratched or dirty, it will affect the reflected face. However, all throughout, I am here. I am not in the mirror. This is called viveka. This distinction has to be seen. Where has it got to be seen? Where there is the delusion is in the mirror, is in the mind actually. In our understanding, in our realization. The problem is there in the mind, and the solution also has to come in the mind. One need not free the ego from the mind, from Prakriti. One cannot, and one need not. However, one should realize that I am the witness of the ego, I am not the ego. This witness of the ego, you can call it the higher I, compared to the lower I. Lower I is the ego. The higher I, the real I, the I which can say, I am Brahman. Remember, all this understanding and saying also is at the level of the mirror, at the level of the mind. And that's where sattva guna becomes helpful, because it's a luminous, clearer, lighter, purer mind which can do this easily. So what is being suggested here is like that. That know this, that all that is being done, look at the activities being done. Notice the sattvic, rajasic or tamasic quality of what's going on in the body-mind. And then notice all of it is being done by the gunas, by the mind, by the senses, by the body, and indeed by the ego. But I am the witness of that. I am the witness of the activities of the body. The eyes see, I am the witness of that, of the eyes seeing. The ears hear, I am the witness, drashta. I am the witness of the ears hearing. I am the witness of the nose smelling and the tongue tasting and the skin touching. I am the witness of the mind thinking, of emotions and feelings, strong and mild feelings, pleasant and unpleasant feelings arising and floating back again. Even when the ego gets attached to those feelings, I'm so depressed, I'm so down today, I feel so light and good today. All of those I am the witness. All of that is still in the mind. And I am the witness. I am the guy watching the mirror and the things going on in the mirror and the face in the mirror getting affected by all of that. I am not the ego which is caught in that turmoil. I am the witness of that. First notice, all that is being done is because of the three gunas. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. There is no other doer, it's a negative language, no other doer other than the gunas in this body mind. Which means the doer in this body mind is the gunas. Whatever is happening in the senses, whatever is happening in the, and the senses means not only the sense organs, so organs of action also. Sit quietly and steadily without moving. A sattvic person can do that. Tamasic person will fall asleep. Lazy. Well, this is tamasic. This is sattvic. And fidgety, restless. I remember we were studying the Gita, and the Swami was teaching us, and we were novices sitting sitting on the floor around him. And one of my friends, a monk, he was a novice, like my age. He was sitting next to me and doing this, and like sitting like this and reading the book. And the Swami said, "Stop! What are you doing? Why is your leg moving?" So the stillness, that control over the body. It's a gross thing, physical thing, but it shows a restless mind. It's rajasic. Or drooping. Yeah, that is lazy. I remember once it was a class, it was, in all fairness, it was hot and muggy, and it was in the afternoon, the sleepiest time of the day, and it was like sitting in hot soup. It was so hot and sweaty. And a friend of mine, another monk, we were all novices. It was in class in the monastery. And the class also, in all fairness, was boring. So perfect conditions for a little snooze. And my friend, the other novice, he dozed off. I still remember the fury of the teacher. He glared at my friend and said, "Get out of the class. We don't want such tamasic monks." And he threw him out of the class. Well, that woke him up. Yes. So, Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. There is no other doer here except the gunas. All activity, inactivity, luminosity, everything is because of the gunas and the ego associated with the gunas. The ego in the mind which says, "I meditate," or "I am so restless," or "I am so sleepy." This is the ego associated with the mind under the influence of the gunas. This is the meaning of Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. Karta means the doer, the agent of action. But not just the agent of action, the agent of experience also, the bhokta, the one who experiences, the one who enjoys or suffers. I'm having a great time. What a delicious cookie this is. What a beautiful music this is. This is such a fine time for a nap. All of them are rajasic, tamasic, sattvic, whatever it is. That is bhokta, enjoying or suffering. Or how awful it is. The conditions of this body mind. I feel sick or tired, or I feel just dark and depressed. It's all gunas. It's nothing to do with you. It's the mirror. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. How will you know this? Yada drashta anupashyati. Drashta. So notice one thing. Whatever is going on, I am the witness of the body. I am the witness of the prana. Witness means experiencer. I am experiencing, there is no doubt about it. I am experiencing this body. And the prana, I am experiencing the prana. And the thoughts in the mind and the feelings in the mind, I am experiencing the mind with its thoughts and feelings and memories. And the intellect, the sense of ego, I am experiencing that too. When I say I am experiencing, that also is being experienced. And beyond all that, the causal body in deep sleep state, when suppose you blank out everything, that darkness also is being experienced. The darkness of deep sleep, the darkness of coma or anesthesia or, So that also, I am the one which illumines all of them. These are the panchakosha. The annamaya, the physical, the pranamaya, the vital, manomaya, the mental and emotional, vijnanamaya, the intellectual, and the anandamaya, the causal or the blank state of deep sleep. All of them I illumine. What am I? What am I? I am not the face in the mirror. I am that which is being reflected in the mirror. What am I? Don't try to capture that. See, rather, the stress should be on what I am witnessing. That which I am witnessing, I am not. the more I stress that, he says, yada drashta anupashyati. The word yada means when, but here it does not mean an event in time. It means knowledge. So, enlightenment, the realization of what is true. It's already a fact. I am never the face in the mirror, never was. When I realize that, it's not that I become separated from the mirror, at last I'm free of the mirror. It can feel that way. I'm at last, it's amazing, I'm free of the body-mind. I'm not the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, 5 sheets of the human personality. I'm none of them. It can feel like a tremendous freedom. However, remember the freedom was already there. Just like the face here was never involved in the mirror, never caught in the dust or the crack in the mirror or the convexity or concavity of the mirror, none of that. All the drama of the mirror, none of that. I was always free of it. This is the meaning of yada. When means actually all the time. How do you come to see it? Anupashyati. Pashyati, seeing it. Anu means paschat, and the word anu means after. Now it has 2 meanings here. One is before enlightenment, one is after enlightenment. Before enlightenment, this little word anu, it means as the texts and the teacher have taught. After what? Not my own theories. Not my own theories. What is important is Vedanta. What does Vedanta say? Why should I believe Vedanta? It's not scripture in that sense that I have to believe. It's written in some holy book. It's believed. No, think of it as a set of pointers. Give it a fair try. See whether what it is saying is true or not. Check. That's all Vedanta asks of us. Take a look. Can you see that you can experience what we thought to be ourselves? Now we can see that. It's an amazing thing. We can experience it as object. The body, the prana, the mind, the emotions, the memories, even the sense of ego, they are objects. Therefore, in the realm of Prakriti, nature, in the realm of the gunas, all the drama of the gunas, the good and the bad, the golden chain and the iron chain, all of that, they are not on me. I am free of them, always was free. How will I know that? Use the texts and the teacher. Guru Shastra. So following the teacher's instructions, following the pointings I have gleaned from these texts, the Gita, all of the Vedanta texts, they are showing me something. We should not misunderstand as, it's asking me to believe stuff. I am modern, in 21st century, I don't believe this old stuff. No, we are missing out that way. Take it as a pointer. Use that, anu, according to that. Not my own theories. You can have your own theories, but first of all, please follow the Vedanta and come to see what Vedanta has shown you. After that, do as you please. Even Krishna will tell Arjuna at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, I have told you this, have you heard me attentively? That's all Krishna wants to check. Arjuna says, yes. Good. Then Krishna says, now do as you please. But not in the beginning, do as you please. Now, don't take this otherwise. I'm at the receiving end of lots of people, they have their own pet theories after listening to a little bit of Vedanta. The number of books which people are writing, it boggles the mind. I keep getting copies of, here is my book on, thank you for all the teachings, I've listened to all your talks, now I've written a book and launched it, here's a book. People ask me for a foreword or now, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One is, if you are using that writing exercise as a way of clarifying one's own understanding and confirming one's own understanding as a part of a spiritual practice, it can be done. And it's good. No harm in it. And you want to share this with others? No harm in it. Generally, I'm not in favor of jumping into writing books. But if I have a brilliant new Vedantic theory, not of much value. Not of much value. Because what Vedanta is transmitting to us, centuries after centuries it has been accumulated. Masters who are enlightened have put down. They are the ones whose insights are most valuable, and they are usually a little reluctant. But they have put it down, and so we have these texts and the commentaries thereof. That's more than enough. No need for one more book on the market. So again, I'm not disapproving in general. I'm not dissuading you from writing. Some people have done a good job of writing the stuff. Some people tend to get carried up. Both kinds of books are there.
AI slop also.
AI slop, yes. So there's something called AI slop. AI is writing books now. Oh, when I asked AI today, can you translate this this commentary? And it said, among the other things, it said that, would you like me to translate this in the tone of Swami Sarvapriyananda? And then I said no. And then it asked me, would you want me to prepare a teaching plan based on this, like a Vedanta teaching plan? Yeah. Yes, it's already thinking of itself as a guru, and writing stuff very nicely too. Except that it's all wrong. It's all imagined by itself. It's called AI hallucination. And the danger is, Bernardo Kastrup told me, the danger is because, see, it will means it is already consuming its own products. And because AI is so powerful and fast, if we can write one book, AI can write 100 books in that time, or 1,000 books. So very quickly, if you allow AI to do that, it will cover most of the internet. I mean, it will crowd out everything else very fast, and it will happen within months or years. And then AI will feed on itself, and rapidly its quality will degenerate. Whatever it is now, it will degenerate very rapidly. So it's called AI slop. You see a lot of it online these days. Yeah. So, Advaitic intelligence, not artificial intelligence necessarily. AI. And he says, what do you appreciate about the drashta, the witness consciousness? Gunebhyascha param vetti. So, anupashyati, yes, I was talking about anupashyati. You see, anu means after. How do you see after? After studying Vedanta. What do you do? Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Listen. Reason about it. Meditate upon it. So that is anu. After. Don't come up with brilliant ideas on your own. It's like you go to Juilliard for music training, and if you tell the teachers, I don't want to learn, I'd rather have you listen to my music. They're going to get thrown out very fast. So when you learn first. You become a master something first. Then you can be creative. Definitely you can be creative. So anupashyati, after. One sadhu put it very beautifully. I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. Nahi jante ho to shravan karo, nahi samjhe to manan karo, vyavhar mein lana chahte ho to nididhyasan karo. So if you don't know this, then listen. That is called shravana. You will know it very fast. If you say, I know it, but I don't understand it, then do mananam, that is reasoning, argument. Reason it out. Then you will understand also. Now you say that, yeah, but I want it living in my life. I want to live it. Then do nididhyasan, meditate on what you have already known and understood. Alright, then it says, the second meaning of anu. After this process of absorbing Vedanta, one still has this feeling that I know it, but it's still not a living reality for me. I get this idea, but I can't really translate it into life. Then what happens is, in the 13th chapter we read, 20 practices were given to us. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam. This absence of pride, non-ostentatiousness, non-violence, forgiveness, straightforwardness. Like these 20 practices, if you remember in the 13th chapter they were given. With the Vedantic knowledge of kshetra and kshetragya, field and field knower. That was 13th chapter. With that, if we try to live it, how do you live it? These 20 practices, they are indicators. If we excel in those practices, then we are living this truth. If we find it difficult in those practices, difficult. Pride. What is pride? It's the consolidation of that, the face in the mirror, the ego, which is not me. The more I become stiff as this, and limited as this, brittle as this little ego, this little person, That's very different, that's very far away from the Vedantic witness. That shows that I am unable to grasp what is meant by the witness of the ego. The witness of the ego is common to everybody. Krishna says, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu. I am the one common consciousness in all beings. So if you are that consciousness, you are common consciousness to all beings. You will find, then at that point we will find no urge at all to glorify, exalt, or even protect or defend this one being. It's fine. You will have in fact a great affection for everybody else because you feel a deep oneness with everybody. You will never ever feel that anybody is against you. Nobody. They may be, because they are reacting to you as a person, as the person you are aware or as they perceive you. But from your perspective, you will have Navijugupsate, the Upanishad says, does not protect oneself. It's a very interesting condition. Does not protect oneself, does not because you are vulnerable. No, you realize you are actually invulnerable. And more important, you are them. You don't protect yourself from yourself. You're just one with yourself. In one sense, you don't even love yourself. You're even higher than love. You're just one with yourself. So you're just one with everybody. So when you're one with everybody and then acting from a perspective of one body mind, it translates into love, into an unconditional, impersonal love for everybody. So that is the second anu. What are the two meanings of anu? Before enlightenment, follow, after, anu means after the teachings of, after means following the teachings of Vedanta and the teacher. And after mastering Vedanta, then after means living it. The 20 practices or all the other, even right now Arjuna will ask the question, so if somebody goes beyond the 3 gunas, what will that person be like? Gunatita, he'll ask. What will it be like? He'll talk about it. The enlightened one. What does this person realize? Gunebhyascha param vetti. One realizes that there is something beyond body and mind. Body, mind, intellect, ego, this is all guna, this is all prakriti, this is all nature. I am none of them. Shankaracharya says, I am not the mind, not the intellect, not the prana, not the memory, not the ego. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham. Then what am I? He says, you are the witness, you are awareness, you are being itself, transcending body mind. Chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Vetti. Param means transcending body mind. Transcending body, mind, ego. Transcending the mirror. It's no part of the mirror. This face is no part of the mirror. So this is freedom. Not that you have to extract the face from the mirror and free it somehow. Not that you have this ego which is here, which is doing all this Vedanta also. This ego will never find freedom, but you will be free of the ego. This ego is part of the body mind. It's a constituent of, it's a product of the constituents of nature, the gunas. Param, transcending the mirror, transcending the body mind. The face, real face transcends the mirror. It is always free of the mirror. So, this freedom from the gunas, that which is trapped in the gunas can never be free of it. And the real nature need not be freed of it because you are already free of it. But what is done is, in the mind, the spiritual teaching, it spiritualizes the mind. What was filled with ignorance about real nature is now filled with knowledge about real nature. Sri Ramakrishna was once asked about his cancer, the pain he was suffering at the final days of his life. So one of his disciples, Hari Maharaj, Swami Turiyananda, asked him, Sir, do you feel all this? The pain in your, this body weakening, dying? And his answer was very perceptive, very interesting, insightful answer. Sri Ramakrishna said, what kind of a question is that? O tomar ki proshno go? O tomar ki kotha? What kind of talk is that? Shorir ki kokhono sadhu hoy, moni sadhu hoy. Does the body ever become spiritual? It's the mind which becomes spiritual. It never says that the Atman or Brahman becomes spiritual. That is the spirit anyway. The body is not spiritualized. It is the mind where ignorance was there. Now knowledge is there. Which was not enlightened, now it is enlightenment. That's the difference. That's the difference. So that's param vetti, transcending. You realize you transcend it. Vetti means knows, not believes, not worships, not meditates. I'm plugging Advaita Vedanta here. Knows. This is the crucial thing, knowledge. Vedanta is a knowledge system at its heart. Meditation, devotion, all of those are helpful to generate this enlightenment. Two meanings of enlightenment. Enlightenment is the light comes on. Oh, I see. I am not the guy in the mirror, I am this. So I'm free of the mirror. Whether it's polished mirror, sattvic, or a sparkling, platinum mirror, rajasic, or a dull, scratched mirror, tamasic, whatever it is, I'm free of it. Always was. This is enlightenment number one. Second, enlighten, light. You feel lighter. One meaning of light is that. Another meaning of light is it's light. You feel lighter, the result of enlightenment. So, this enlightenment has these two meanings. Madbhavam sodhigacchati. Krishna says that one attains to my nature. What is my nature? Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. That means you were of that nature already. You realize I am that. What about the mirror and the face in the mirror? It will go on as dictated by past karma. But you always know your freedom from it. Life will go on, the body will go on until it dies. And the subtle body also will reflect you, the reflected consciousness there. Ego will also be there. But you are no longer that ego, bound by that. So Ramakrishna distinguishes between ripe ego and unripe ego. That ego which is trapped within the mirror, the face in the mirror, that's the unripe ego. But it points to you the real, that's the ripe ego. One more verse and then we are done. 20th verse, Sri Krishna tells us the result of this knowledge. Gunanetan atityatrin, gunanetan atityatrin, dehi deha samudbhavan, dehi deha samudbhavan, janma mrityu jara dukkhay, janma mrityu jara dukkhay, vimukto amritam ashnute, vimukto amritam ashnute. Having transcended these three gunas, which are the cause of this body and mind, the embodied self, bereft of birth, death, old age and misery, attains immortality. You attain to immortality. Amritam ashnute, enjoys immortality. The commentator here says, what is this immortality like? He says, Amritam ashnute, enjoys immortality. Brahmanandam prapnoti, attains the bliss of Brahman. Otherwise it can sound rather dry and abstract. What immortality? Sounds rather ominous. Do I get wiped out? No. You realize your true infinite nature and you enjoy it. There is great freedom and enjoyment there. He says, enjoyment, quote unquote. Gunan etan atityatrin. These three gunas, transcending these three gunas. Who transcends? Dehi, the embodied one. Right now, this guy, who thinks I am in this body mind, who is subject to sattva, rajas and tamas. And therefore transcends janma mrityu jara dukkha. Janma, birth, death, old age, suffering. Vimukta, free of this. So free of all kinds of suffering. And so is it just a blank state, just free of suffering, that's all? Amritam ashnute, no, enjoys one's infinite nature, the enlightenment, the freedom from of this all. All right, somebody had a question? Yes.
I had a question earlier, so I don't want to jump ahead.
Somebody else? Yes, Bill.
Maharaj, could you say more about the ripe ego? You get the impression when you read Sri Ramakrishna that he's saying it's very hard to have the realization that I am the Atman, but try to develop a ripe ego. That will.
So Ramakrishna says a ripe ego, he says the distinction between ripe ego and unripe ego. The unripe ego is my house, my property, my child or my nephew or niece. This is unripe ego. It's the face in the mirror, which is associated only with that mirror. the ripe ego is, I am the child of God, or all are my Gopala, my beloved Krishna is in all beings. Or he says, or I am the ever free consciousness. Nitya mukta buddha mukta shava atma. I am the witness consciousness, ever free. So I am this face, ever free of the mirror made of the three gunas in the body mind. All of these are ripe ego. So the ripe ego can be a ripe ego in a devotional framework, which connects itself to God, or the ripe ego can be in this framework which Krishna suggests here, the knowledge framework. I am the witness of the body mind. I am the witness of Maya, of Prakriti.
Is the ripe ego beyond sattva?
Yes, the ripe ego points to beyond sattva. The ripe ego points to the Atman, which is beyond sattva. The ripe ego the ego itself always is within the sattva, rajas, tamas, but the ripe ego, unripe ego binds itself to sattva, rajas and tamas. The ripe ego points beyond it. It's a sattvic function of the mind, yes. It shows you what you truly are. It's that final robber which shows you the way to the city of God here. It can't follow you there. Even you are not even the ripe ego. You're free of that also. Then, yes.
Pranam Maharaj. I'm not suggesting it's easy, but if one can develop metacognition, is that enlightenment? I mean,
Metacognition in what sense?
that you can see yourself thinking, you can see yourself reacting to certain things, and then the
Yes.
question then becomes, where do you place that
Yes.
seeing? That's the witness, it sounds like.
Yes, but that metacognition is a function of the mind.
Certainly.
Yes, because something that is developed was not there earlier.
But
And can be lost.
But Maharaj, you said that's where the work is, right? The work is in the mind.
Correct.
So
Remember, so that witnessing this introspective ability, the metacognition, the ability to watch the workings of our mind, our senses, that's very helpful. But one must make a a big jump from there. Notice, even when metacognition is going on or not going on, I am equally the witness of that.
yeah.
There is a way of being the witness which is a practice. I am calmly watching the sensations in the body, my feelings, my emotions, my memories, my activities of the mind. I am watching it carefully. That's the mind doing it. It's a practice. It's like watching the breath. I'm watching it. But I may watch it, I may not watch it, I may watch something else. So that's always a practice. When there is an option open, it's a practice of the mind. Whereas the witness consciousness, what he's talking about here, the drashta, is choiceless. Whether anybody is practicing or not practicing, you're always that. You're always the light shining. That has to be understood. But that metacognition of it, it's a very good practice.
Definitely step one.
Yeah, definitely. It's taking a look into your in the inner workings of the mind and the senses and the intellect.
Doesn't it fall into like nididhyasana?
No, nididhyasana is different. The question was, does it fall into nididhyasana? No. Nididhyasana is when clarity has been obtained that I am the witness consciousness, then you stay as that. Or you notice that all that is going on in the mind and the senses is not me, it's object. Notice that it changes, I do not change. Notice that it's an object, I am the drashta. I say drashta anupashyati. I am the drashta, I am the witness consciousness. See, it's like this. Suppose you're not doing the metacognition. Suppose it's just regular. This is the guy on the street, you're walking careful not to slip on the black ice, and you're busy with that. At that time, are you having a conscious experience or not? Are you aware?
Yeah.
That awareness. And that awareness you are choicelessly. The mind is not happy with that because the mind wants something under its control. That awareness is beyond the mind. It illumines the mind. All the activities of the mind, all the activities of the senses, of the gunas, activities of the gunas, they go on in the light of this consciousness which you are. You are that light. But that light does not do anything. Everything is done by the gunas. by the tendencies, by the impulses, by the programmings in the mind and the senses and the compulsions. They're all done at that level. You are the light, but it's a choiceless light.
The metacognition is, the mind is still objectifying something.
Yes.
And then watching it and...
It's
dealing
objectifying
with it.
part of its own behavior, the senses, the body, the world. It's reflecting upon that. It's a sophisticated form of introspection. Good. That's a very good activity. Always know that I am not it. And even the metacognition I am not. And I'm not dependent on the metacognition. The metacognition is dependent on me. I am the light in which the metacognition shines. The metacognition would be a kind of a sattvic activity.
I have a follow-up question. But with metacognition, isn't that in itself a spontaneous realization that you are in metacognition? And then who is realizing that? Because sometimes, for me, specifically recently, we're expanding the witness consciousness, but we weren't there before. Like, what are the success markers? And metacognition in itself is, to me, it's very spontaneous. That's how I learned. I put it in ChatGPT and I asked.
Yes.
But then even that is so spontaneous, then who is noticing the metacognition? Because for me, it's like funny. Like, I could have responded differently from my past conditioning, but now I'm making a different choice.
Yes, that's true. There's a process of becoming more and more aware of the witness consciousness. Yeah.
Okay.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Rupanamastu. Just wait a little, they're coming with the basket. Somebody had a question here, I think. Yes, I'll come to you next.
I think the way you explain sattva seems to be the topmost of the three levels that we talk of, the sattva guna, and then comes the realization. So post-realization, would we still, or would anyone who is a realized person would still have all the three gunas, or
yes,
the person
post-realization, would the realized person have three gunas? Yes, as long as the body is there, the mind is there, three gunas will be there. They might be a little more sattvic than others, but would a realized person have rajas and tamas? Yes, even that might come.
And that movement from sattvic to realization, that is also not whatever we can do, but that also will come only by grace?
No, we have to do this. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. We have to make an effort for it ourselves. Grace is the very fact that we have got Vedanta, we had the teacher, we have a desire for enlightenment. All of that is sign of grace. And there will be a further grace along the way when obstructions will be removed and finally the realization will dawn on us. But we have to keep engaged at pursuing this. So, I am the witness of the activities of the mind and the senses. Not just to repeat it as a mantra, but to notice it. That it's a fact. It's always a fact. And I am that one. Even enlightenment might come even in a tamasic or rajasic state of mind also. Who knows? I mean, it sounds strange. We are not those tamasic or rajasic states of mind. See, take the example of the mirror. The mirror might be polished and fine. Swami Vivekananda actually recommends that. He says, all that we can do is polish the mirror. This is inspired talks. This is a single standalone sentence. All that we can do is polish the mirror. That means all our sadhana is basically polishing the mirror. But just imagine, when the mirror is dusty, and my face is not reflected properly there. Even at that moment, the realization can come that I am not that. I am this. In that principle, yes. And then next.
Okay, so very relevant to what she was speaking to. Actually, I'm very new to Vedanta, so my question would be not related to yoga. I'm just making a preamble based on AI, apologizing if the question is wrong. But something you said during the talk, maybe to keep us awake, that when you were newbies and you were in the class and this gentleman dozed off, and then the Guruji said, "Get out of my class," right? So that is a reaction. And as managers or people who are in profession, we encounter this situation all the time, every time, right? So you've given a task, the task is not done, and then how do you react? So my question to you is, a person who has conscious mind, how do we, are there any nuggets of advice or suggestion that when that reaction comes out and you react and you burst out on a person, what should one do in that situation? Because obviously, you didn't like it, you want to react. How do you control yourself?
What you do is, what is suggested here is always to remain centered in the awareness that you are awareness. Then the rest will follow. After that, you can have a whole range of possible responses at your disposal, including bursting out and yelling at that person. That also might be there, as long as you are not swept away internally. What Vedanta wants is always know that you are this face, not the face in the mirror. After that, whatever response is necessary, you might use.
Can you give an example? Like a layman example?
Like this, let me give you an example. There's one Swami who reminiscences of Swami Premananda. Premananda was one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, and he was the first manager of Belur Math, the main monastery there. So this person was left reminiscences, who later became a monk. As a young man, he used to go to Swami Premananda, and one day he went, and Swami Premananda greeted him with his usual sweet smile and sweet words. And then he was scolding a brahmachari, a novice who had just become a monk. And he turned to that brahmachari and started scolding. His face became red. He was very fair, so his face became red and started yelling at that brahmachari, that novice. And this gentleman who's left reminiscences, he says, at that moment I thought, oh, this monk has anger. The moment I thought that, Swami Premananda turned towards me. Again, all signs of anger gone. Again spoke sweetly with me for a minute, and then turned back again to the brahmachari's face, became red and started scolding. So as a manager, as an HR person, there are a whole range of ways in which you can deal. What would be the most skillful way of dealing with the particular situation? It could include yelling and scolding at a person. Generally, you shouldn't. But I remember one way of dealing with such situations was called the Kita method, the kick in the A. If all else fails in some situation, so this is the Kita method. But as long as internally you are a well-wisher of everybody, you carry no anger or hatred, you realize you are the witness, and in this mind, for whatever training and samskaras you have, these are the instruments, the methods at your disposal. And that actually works. I've seen that.
One last question. So, putting my situation again, it's not a philosophy or a class, but how do you educate a person who's a newbie and has, it's probably...
there are various ways. We're talking especially from a Vedantic perspective, but there are various ways. There meditation becomes useful. There all the knowledge of interpersonal, how do you deal with in small teams, all the stuff you learn in HR, that also becomes useful. A lot of the transactional analysis, a lot of the stuff, it becomes useful there. And this personal control over yourself, with all the knowledge at my disposal, if I lose my temper, nothing will work. So meditation, this Vedantic awareness of awareness, that I am not these body-mind. So the reactions which come up in the mind, the flash of irritation, the impatience, that's also part of the mind. It's an effect of rajas, and I am not it. I am the witness of that. The moment this thought is implanted in my mind, that's also in the mind. You're much more able to detach yourself from that, be the witness of that, and react much more appropriately. So this is one more thing to be learned. In fact, I have a friend who's a professor of management at one of India's leading management institutes. You've heard of XLRI Jamshedpur? So he said, I was talking about this as the detached witness. I said, I used one of your videos from the YouTube. So can you come online, and it will be a nice surprise for the MBA students to hear it directly from you. Yes, that one can do. So, but a whole range of practices are helpful. Mindfulness is very helpful. Last.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, you talked about the ripe ego today, and you said it could also be an identity in your true self, based upon your true self. In the Tuesday class, you talked something similar about Vijnana, where it is a spiritualized ego after having understood non-duality. But for some reason on Tuesday, Ramakrishna ji discouraged the identity in the true self. He was encouraging more like I think the highest form bhava was the beloved.
The
Treating
devotee,
the divine.
the devotional approach. Yes, he gave a whole range of teachings depending on who was in front of him. Yeah. What I told you, Bill's question about the ripe ego. So the whole range Sri Ramakrishna suggests. I am the child of the divine. That's the ripe ego. All are my beloved Gopala. That's the ripe ego. Or I am the witness consciousness. Sri Ramakrishna actually says that. That's also the ripe ego. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Quick addendum.
Ah.
So I just realized that what metacognition allows you to do is to do our chitta shuddhi. Otherwise, I'm swept away into the action.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Self-reflective, introspective, definitely. We must be aware. The more and more, okay, let me just mention this here. You know that Swami who came here, Anubhavananda Saraswati? I got this from him. Very interesting. Humorously he says, people always complain in spiritual classes that, I find it very difficult to meditate, my mind is restless. And I say to them, that is a sign of spiritual progress. Why? Until now you are worried about that guy is against me. And you know what he said about me. We are worried about people and the world. That's our usual state. From there I am now worried about, if I am so spiritual, why isn't my mind calm? Why do I react? Now you are not worried about the world, you are worried about the mind. And in Vedanta also, that's an advancement. And in Vedanta, that's deep, there's a big jump, big progress. Why? When I'm worried about the world, I'm concerned about other people, then I am identified with the mind. It's the mind's job to watch the world. But when I am worried about my mind or concerned with what's going on in the mind, then that's the higher ego or it's the ripe ego. It's actually the job of the witness is to illumine the mind.